Yeah, what's up, people? I'm in East London to find out what people think about boycotts and if their morals match their actions. Or if their actions match their morals, that makes more sense. Let's go! Do you think boycotts work?
I think so.
I think for the most part.
Yes, they do.
Sometimes.
Can you elaborate on that?
When they get big enough and when they're focused enough. I think there have been too many in recent years, especially sort of attempts to boycott like loads of stuff that people aren't really spending money on anyway. It's like they have to be things that you would have bought that you're now not buying.
There's an element of like togetherness when boycotts, and I think that shows more of a resilience against stuff.
Yeah, I think we live in such a society is so capitalist today, and so using group force to sort of restrict money does have an impact on companies, and it does affect people's reactions to things.
The ANC, in Cuba, they boycotted. Don't ask me what, but yes, because they highlight what needs to be done. They highlight the injustice of whatever group or faction they're fighting against.
Yeah, and do you partake in any boycotts, like right now?
Currently, not as actively as I should, maybe. Yeah.
And what does that mean? So does that mean you do, but you want to do more?
Yeah.
Yeah, could you tell us a bit more about the boycotts you're doing?
I mean, perhaps boycotting some industries that are politically damaging and just not, or raising awareness for things that aren't, or supporting things that aren't that great. Yeah.
Are you being deliberately vague because you don't want... Yeah, no, I feel you completely.
I'm not right now, I'm not, and I think I probably should be. I think I'm slightly underversed in some things that are happening at the moment, and I'm trying to take some time to sort of step back and educate myself and make sure that it's a difficult one. I think we're in a space where there's a lot of conversations happening, and sometimes it can get very overwhelming, and sometimes we as individuals need to just take a step back and make sure that we're taking the time to do our own research and quiet and in spaces in our bedrooms as much as putting stuff on social media. I think there's merit in both. So currently I'm trying to sort of make sure I'm up to date with what needs to be, what we need to be bearing in mind and what we need to be following at the moment. So yeah.
I think the same. It's like, as you said, kind of making sure you're well educated around different matters and making sure that you're kind of making the right decision for yourself and also other people. But yeah, just kind of formulating that.
I'm following the BDS list. So like recently, no like McDonald's, no Starbucks, no HP, no Puma. I can't remember them all off the top of my head, but as far as I'm aware, I haven't like bought anything from that list in a few years because it's honestly not that difficult.
Yeah.
I'm an unemployed person on disability benefit, so it's like I can't like petition my job or my like whatever, but I that's like one personal thing that I can do that I've been doing for like a few years because it's like honestly not that hard.
So do you think, if we're talking about the BDS boycotts, that them alone can have like a big impact on what we're trying to achieve?
Not alone. It's like because the whole point of it is that it's like a fairly broad spectrum thing, and like only doing the personal boycott part doesn't really work. It has to be like you have to boycott it and you have to like encourage people to do the other parts. And like the thing that's difficult currently is there's like so much political pushback. Like I think yesterday the anti-boycott law was in session or whatever, which is kind of terrifying. It's like people are just saying I don't want to spend money on this thing. The whole point of like the free market is that you can choose not to spend money on things, and they're like, oh, you can't choose to boycott something for a political reason. Like that's insane.
Have you been to any protests or anything? Like, how politically active are you?
I haven't currently. I'm trying to make sure that I'm keeping versed in everything, but in a weird way I sort of have felt like I've been trying to make sure that I'm understanding everything that's going on. But I also, and I've never personally been a big one going to protest just personally for myself. And I think with a lot of the stuff that's happening at the moment, I'm sort of trying to find out, making sure that my understanding of things is good enough before I put myself into the centre in a way.
Yeah.
So I think we've had a lot of conversations in our flat and with our friends, just in small groups and doing that small work of just trying to understand and discuss everything that's going on. But I personally haven't found myself in a place yet where I've felt perhaps confident or grounded enough in understanding everything to put myself right into the centre at this point. But hopefully that's something that changes, and as I learn more, maybe that dynamic will shift a bit. Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, same with me. It's one of those things where, like we've said, it's that kind of thing of, I think you can still be involved with a lot of stuff. So I haven't been to any protests, but I think you can still be involved with stuff, even if it's signing petitions or, you know, and also I think just having the conversation with people comfortably and openly towards friends or family or just different people around your circle. I think
that small work feels as important
like,
as the big work.
Yeah, exactly.
In a way.
I think you can kind of share a mindset, or at least come to an agreement on different stuff as well. So,
I share things online, but I try not to be online too much generally, but that's a personal thing. So I actively say I could be partaking more, and I'm aware of that, but I support anyone who's actively doing it and has their name out there on social media. I think that's more of a mental thing for myself right now, to like do things away from social media.
Do you think when we're talking about boycotts and stuff, we over here and just so far removed from that war have a part to play in helping to stop it?
Yeah, basically send money over and hopefully they use it to, for constructive use. You know, when it's eventually over, build up some new houses, give the children and the women some food, because I've heard there's 200 people sharing a toilet and a shower in one building and things like that. You know, and the destruction, it makes me cry. It's awful. We should all get together and try and send some money over there, or take ourselves over there once they open the borders and that, and get building, you know?
Yeah.
And sharing some love. And if any of them ever see it, I'm with you. Assalamu alaikum.
What would you say to the people who want to support the cause but are not because they've got boycott fatigue or are finding it too difficult?
I think that's a lot of bullshit, personally.
Period.
It's genuinely, like, the list is not long. It's not that hard, like, especially if you live in a city. I can maybe see it if you live somewhere, like, there really isn't a lot of food and you're, like, genuinely struggling to feed yourself. But it's, like, you still don't need to do the other stuff. Like, there are myriad cheap trainer brands you don't need to buy from Puma. Like, HP isn't cheap. If you're struggling for money, like, just buy a computer from someone else. I guess, like, I personally think it's not that hard.